Well, hey, everybody, and welcome. We are so excited to have Sandra Lett with us. Sandra, welcome. We're made it to Facebook, baby.
Yay!
Hallelujah. So I'm so glad. I know. Oh, that's right. For those of you that don't know, we were going to do this last week, and I was sitting in my studio on Saturday before we were supposed to do this on Tuesday, and my tooth something started going. I was like, oh, Lord. So I was not having a good day. So anyway, I got on antibiotics and all this, and by Monday I was like out, and I was like, I don't think we can do this. So I'm so glad we were able to reschedule and get going with this. It's such a great opportunity, Sandra, to talk with you, tell your story, and also share about the new class that we've done called Fluid Art with Intention. So it's gonna be awesome. Are you're in your studio right now?
I'm in my office in my studio.
Awesome. Isn't that awesome to be able to say that you have that now? Isn't that great?
Yeah.
You've just been in there how long now?
6 months.
Yeah. I remember that. So that's been such a wonderful journey to watch. So all of you guys that are coming on, thanks. I see tons of people. Let us know where you're from, and Norfolk, Virginia, and Orlando, Florida, and all over the place. So woohoo. As you're coming on, if you've got questions for us, questions for Sandra about the course, about her journey as we're talking and that sort of thing, please post them on there on the comments, and I'll look and be able to read those, and we'll select a few as we go to make sure that we can get all your questions answered and that sort of thing, especially as we get into talking about the details of Sandra's new course. We want to make sure that you have all the information that you need. So Sandra, I'm thinking, how long have we known each other? Because it seems like, once you start to know somebody and like become friends with them, it's like, I can't remember not knowing her. So how long? It's been a couple of years, hasn't it? 2 or 3 years?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've been in the program a little over 2 years, and I met you.
Program. Yeah.
Yeah, I met you in the at the Gathering of Artisans in 2017 is when I first met you personally.
Awesome. And tell everybody what you were doing before then, because you've been an artist for a lot of years. So, I mean, you've had an incredible journey just in that.
I grew up, my grandfather was an artist. And so as a child, I used to sit on his lap, watch him paint,
right,
smoke his pipe. So I had this fondness for pipe smoke.
That's right.
But he died when I was a young girl, about 11 or 12 years old. But I had that kind of history. And then my aunt was a flourishing decorative artist in Wilmington near the coast. And so I kind of always admired her. I grew up in Charlotte, and Charlotte was huge for decorative art. And so I actually went to a community college when my children were like little babies, like little boys, tiny boys.
Yeah.
And took a drawing class, an oil painting class, which I hated, and a color class. But I had a teacher that asked me, have you ever thought of doing this? You've got some talent here. Have you ever thought of doing anything with it? And I said, no, because I was working in the corporate world.
Okay.
And I worked in the corporate world for 13 years or so. And then after just having those few classes, we moved away to Rocky Mount, where I have lived for over 19 years.
Wow.
And when I went there, I went with a corporate job that I did from home. And then they eventually laid me off. And that was when I started my journey as a decorative artist. And had I ever painted before? No. I had never painted before, but I watched Bob Ross.
That's right. Now, when you say decorative art, what were you talking about specifically? Just to give people a context.
So decorative art is when you go into a person's home, you either do a faux finish on the wall, a mural, trompe-l'oeil, which is fool the eye. It's French for fool the eye. So you paint a window or a scene through a window that looks like it's there, but it's not really there.
Yeah.
That was my favorite. I painted furniture. I painted on fabric. I painted on anything that didn't move. So it was, and it was I did it for over 18 years in Rocky Mount and had a pretty thriving business. And
I was going to say that was huge back. I mean, that was what, in the 90s, early 2000s in there?
Yes.
That was huge.
So yeah, I never advertised. I worked from my home. It was all word of mouth. It was, a city of maybe 50,000 people, and people talked.
Right.
And that's how I got my business. And I had a couple of decorators I worked with, that kind of thing. But then I remarried 5 years ago and moved away from Rocky Mount and moved to the country with no neighbors, no friends. And, I knew that I needed to reinvent myself. I didn't want to travel to go paint anymore.
Right.
I had climbed plenty of ladders. My knees are shot, so it was like, okay, what do I do with myself? And I was still painting on canvases, but I was really struggling, and I felt like I was just spinning my wheels. And that's when I found your program.
Wow.
Created to Thrive.
Wow. So had you started doing the fluid art and that sort of thing at that point, or was that kind of part of this reinvention that you're calling it?
I kind of discovered you, and within a few months, I discovered fluid art on YouTube, because I was looking on YouTube for other things to paint. I wanted to kind of free myself and learn abstracts, and I just happened upon fluid art and was binge watching it for several months, and
all do, right?
had just started, just dabbling with it about the time I came to the Gathering of Artisans, and that's when I met you. And I didn't even get to take a class because I registered too late for the seminar, during the day. But I came for the worship experience at night, which just was life-changing for me. And I also got to meet Jonas Gerard, who is right next door to your gallery.
Right.
And between those two things that weekend, I just walked away with a new fire in my heart. And I felt like I had I don't know if been anointed or whatever you call it, but I just felt changed that weekend. And I didn't know what I was supposed to do, but it just came to me. It's like, okay, you've been painting for 20 years. You've got experience. You can do this YouTube thing. There's other people doing it. And it just came to me that you're supposed to do this YouTube thing. And that's what I started doing. And it just really blew up, because I stood out a little bit differently from, there's so many acrylic pourers out there.
Right.
It's kind of a worldwide rage. And there were so many people, and I wanted to be, uniquely different. And I do all the regular pours as well. But I was able just to kind of do a few things at the very beginning that really kind of set me apart. And it just brought in the people. And, I remember I went to your mastermind weekend that March after starting my YouTube channel, and I had 13,000 followers then.
And everybody was like, 30,000 followers.
13,000.
Because that was like from October. That was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, no, that was from December.
Get out. Come on.
I didn't start the YouTube thing till December 1st.
Wow.
So that was in, 4 months maybe. And then today I have like 56,000 followers. It's slowed down a bit because there's so many people doing this. And that's, when I decided I'm going to, keep doing the YouTube thing, but I also want to offer the tutorials and share my love and my heart in teaching people, because there's so many people that want to learn and don't have the courage to do it.
As I think about your journey, I think about so many of the people in Created to Thrive that have been, or in Thriving Christian Artist Group and Created to Thrive too, but there's a lot of thriving going on. I think about so many artists that may have done something creatively for a long time. They're looking for something fun. Maybe they've been a realistic painter like you were. They're looking for something a little more intuitive, a little more in the flow. And I mean, talk about how that difference was for you, because you were coming out of a pretty structured art world, and now you're into acrylic pouring and, developing your own style with that. That's a completely different mode of creative expression, right? I mean, it feels different as you're in the process. So how was that for you?
As being a real acrylic artist, as far as realistic, that was always what I was aiming for, was realism and perfection. and constantly being let down, that was never good enough, even though I mean, I had rave,
Right.
reviews, clients that wept and jumped for joy and clapped. And, I mean, I always had such good favor with that, such good favor. But also a little backstory on me. I've had a really rough time in the last 15 years. I have a son who has struggled with addiction and mental issues, and it's really made my life extremely difficult at times. And I've felt totally out of control as a person, as a mother, that I couldn't control what my son was doing. And I just kept on trying to control. And, people kept telling me, you got to let go of him. You got to let go. And then I came to that gathering of artisans and met you. And when I was talking to Jonas Gerard, that was one of the things he specifically said to me in a studio. He put his hands on my shoulders and said, you've got to let go of everything. And him telling me that weekend, it was just such a huge impact when I was driving home, was, it's time for me to let go of trying to control things. And that's what I love about the fluid art, is you can only control it so much, and you really don't have a lot of control at all. And for me, this past year or so with fluid art, I've been struggling with this whole thing with my son. And I know that God is telling me, let go, let me have your son. And I think he's trying to teach me through this medium how to let go, how to stop striving for perfection, how to stop trying to control what other people do, and what, it's just been a huge life lesson for me that, God is trying to tell me to let go, because he can't do anything with my son until I let go.
And what you do creatively with this fluid art, and again, if you're just coming on, we're talking with Sandra Lett, brand new e-course out today called Fluid Art with Intention, talking about moving from being a realist, a decorative artist, into doing fluid art, acrylic pouring, and the intuitive nature of that. I would think that just like life, if you, in this process, if you try to overwork it and really get, too much into the detail, into the weeds of it, that's when it messes up. The beauty of what you're doing, even this course, is teaching people how to really flow. I remember Jonas, he talks about, I just dance with the paint. I just dance with the music, and I'm like, that's what this feels like, is this intuitive kind of surfing with color, almost, that you have to go with the flow, right?
Yes. And what happens is when you keep messing with it and trying to fix it, it becomes worse, and it turns to mud.
Right.
The colors turn to mud. It becomes a mess.
Yeah.
And that's what I hear from people over and over again that comment on my YouTube videos or send me emails, is, how do you make it look so effortless? And how do you keep it from not going to mud and, making it a mess? And yeah, it's true. It's like you do it, and you can work with it a little bit, but you just kind of create, and but you can make a big mess out of it. And that is also another life lesson. It's just like, all of this is life lessons for me. About, if you keep messing with it, you're going to really screw it up.
That's right. That's right. Well, and I think it's beautiful that the Lord always, cares so much more about the process than the end result. And I think that's the beautiful thing about this course, is that it can give people the basics, and even more than basics, even some advanced techniques of how to begin to use a process like this for another tool in their tool belt, or to a way to spiritually process what's going on in their life, or just for fun, or maybe it's something that they're going to incorporate into their art practice, into their art business. But it's a beautiful, beautiful way to be able to do that. Hey guys, as you're coming on, I know there's a ton of people online right now, so welcome. If you've got questions for Sandra, we're gonna switch kind of and talk a little bit about the course that we're launching today called Fluid Art with Intention. It's the third course in my Created with the Holy Spirit series. Aaron Brown was our first one. We did a mixed media collage class with him. Amy Smith did one a couple of months ago that was all about abstract expressionism and painting with freedom. And then Sandra's is the third one, which is just an incredible, course here on fluid art and how to begin to use that to get started with it. So if you've got a question about this course as we're talking about it today, let us know. We'll answer it right here live as we're going. Now, Sandra, one of the things that I love that we did in this course is you took time in a whole video to talk about all the supplies you need, because that's one of the things I'm sure that as you're starting a new process, a new medium, a new artistic endeavor, people are like, I'd love to do that, but how do I even get started? So talk through that, because you went into great detail about how to get started with doing fluid art in this course.
Well, I mean, it's like any medium, you're going to have to start with the basics, and you don't have to start big. Like, the tutorial I have is, larger scale. It's probably an 18 by 24, 16 by 20. You can always start small and work your way up, but
right.
It's just basically, the beginning of, you don't have to have brushes. You just need some paints and a medium to add to it, which I used Floetrol in the video with you, but in the kit that I'm going to give away, I provide some pouring medium that goes right with the deco art paints, and a little magic ingredient that's a hair product that goes to make the beautiful cells. And I give you a few canvases and mixing tools, but it's not, you can do it on a budget. You can go to Walmart and get the basic necessities if you have to. It's not really super expensive. So you can pretty much start anywhere as a beginner. And the beauty of fluid art is you do not have to be a trained or skilled artist to do it.
Right. Yeah, it really is learning to flow with it. In fact, as we were watching you do this, because I'm there during the taping, we did a little interview back and forth and all that. And Mark and I are sitting there going, I think we could do this. I mean, this looks, I may leave baskets forever. This looks really, really, really awesome. So now somebody was asking me on here on Facebook, can we access the other two courses, get access to the other two courses as well? You absolutely can. You can always, if you click the link that's here in this post, where you get Sandra's course, you'll notice that up at the top, and I'm going to pull it up on my website here, matttommeymentoring.com. If you go to matttommeymentoring.com and you go to resources and then online art classes, you'll notice that there is Aaron Brown's course, there's Amy Smith's course, and then the link that is for Sandra's course today is right there in the post today. So you can click on that and you can, you can find that immediately. So now some people are asking about, what are all the things that you use for, I didn't catch that. What are the things that you use for acrylic pouring? Well, guys, that's why we did the course. So you can grab the course. It's just $79, and it's actually, I'm looking at it right now online. It's actually 3 teaching sections, the introduction section, and then we've got a great closing section where we pray for you and that sort of thing. It's just a wonderful, wonderful course that walks you all the way through that. Now, Sandra, you mentioned, and this is a great time as any to talk about it. Every time we do a little course like this, we like to give away stuff, because I like to give away stuff. And so, so we talked to Sandra. We're like, what can we give away that would really, really bless people? So here's the deal. The first thing, we're going to do 2 drawings of everybody that purchases the course. All right. The first one is, and I'm looking at it online, and it's right behind you. You said, what is this, like an 18 by 24?
Yes.
So we're going to give away, all right, this original painting by Sandra, signed, everything, valued at $250 to one of the people who buy the course this week. Now, with all our courses, they're always available, but you only get the bonuses or, access to win a bonus if you purchase by the close date, which is Sunday, the 9th, all right, June the 9th. And you can see all that on the website when you join. The other thing that is a potential giveaway, somebody's going to win this, is a free deco art paint pouring starter kit. Now, that is like the biggest, awesomest, most great starter kit. So Oh my gosh, that is great. Like there's canvas in there, there's paint, there's sticks. Without going into the details of too much, what are some of the things that are in there?
I'm not gonna ship big canvases because I don't want them to get ruined. But there's some smaller canvases. There's a catalog. There's pouring medium, a top coat, lots of colors. I'm gonna give you gloves and your little mixing cups and that little hair ointment and a puppy pad to put it on, and a tablecloth. So I'm gonna include everything that you can do on a smaller scale. If you just wanted to go large scale, you'll just need to get the larger canvas.
Right.
And I'll probably put a gift card in there for that, so that you won't have to purchase anything to do your first fluid art piece.
Wow. Now that is awesome. That may be the best one we've ever given away. So listen, the only way that you get access to win that is if you purchase the course today through Sunday. All right. Which is June the 9th. I believe usually we close at 9:00. Let's see here, make sure. Yes, 9:00. All right, that evening. And so we want to make sure if you want to get access to be a winner for one of those 2 prizes that you purchase the course during that time frame. Now, I'm looking online. If you've got a question for any of us, about the course, about what you're going to learn, that sort of thing, let us know. Sandra, talk a little bit about some of the nuanced things that you teach in the course, because it's not like you just go on there and say, well, this is how you do it. You just pour it and there it is. I mean, talk through some of the techniques and things that you're really teaching in the course.
Well, fluid art typically for most, and I've got, 400 and something videos right now on YouTube already. There's all kinds of styles, and typically you will pour it onto a canvas and you will tilt it, and it's kind of a random thing. And I like to take it, being an artist, I like to take it to the next level. And I've actually taught a class on this with 5 people in it that had never painted before. And they all turned out a beautiful piece, different from mine, but very similar. They all did a bang up job. They just did great. So I'll teach you how to blow with a straw and how to use a skewer to make organic looking things in your painting that are pretty simple to do. It just takes a little instruction, but it's done more with a little bit more of an artistic purpose, a little bit more of an intention behind it. So it's not as random, even though anytime you put fluid art on a canvas, it's going to be random to a certain extent, but I'm going to show you how to totally use it and control it a little bit.
Now, one of the questions, a couple of different questions we were getting, will this course be similar to the one you're doing at Gathering? And what makes this different than some of your free courses that are, or free videos that are on YouTube and everything? Talk a little bit about what makes this course special, because this is really the first big teaching one that you've done. So talk about what makes this special as opposed to a lot of you mentioned tons of people out there doing free stuff. What really makes this special for folks?
Well, I'm just teaching it with intentionality as an artist, from an artist perspective who has had the years of experience.
Yeah.
This may be one of the classes I do, but it's going to be over a 3-day period. So we're going to do multiple classes. But the cool part is we're not just going to do one little painting in a 30-minute deal. I'm going to really show you how to, a lot of people just don't know how to apply, how much pressure to apply when they're moving paint around. Some people just get too heavy-handed. Some people are nervous. And what I do is, with the one-on-one thing is I'll just be able to teach you how to relax and to do it with purpose, and just to be able to kind of let go and be free with it. It does. Yeah. Yours does not have to look like mine. It's just all about it's about the creative process as much as it is about the end product.
Somebody just said this looks like there are controlled string pulls in your painting, like you're kind of pulling through. Is that
no?
No. Good. See,
no strings in this one. It's just a little bit of pouring and then blowing and using a skewer. So it's very inexpensive items, a straw and a skewer. You can't get any cheaper than that. Most people have those in their home already.
And that's the beauty of this video, I think, and the whole series that is in this course is the camera is right there. So you're getting to see how this works. You're talking through it. And I love it because, when you film this whole process as one, you get those kind of little things that maybe people miss just watching a quick video or whatever. You're getting to watch the whole process come through, and you're hearing those. I don't know, in every course like this that we've done, I love it when the artist is the little comments that come out just kind of on the cuff. And I know you did that all the way through, talking about your relationship with the Lord, talking about how the Holy Spirit speaks to you, talking about, too light, too heavy, do this, do that. It's just like this really fluid, just like the painting. It's just a real fluid process. And I think that's one of the things that really makes this course special.
The thing about my YouTube videos is I do a lot of editing. I speed up things. I cut out all the talking in between because people want to just get through the video as quickly as they can to see the end product. And, this is my heart, is going into showing you step by step what you can do to make something very similar to this.
Yeah.
But there's no editing and taking it out and fast forwarding through things.
Yeah. You get the whole process from soup to nut. So, and if people are wondering, where's the painting that she did on the thing? I have it at my house. so you can't have it. We're doing this one. And so again, if you're just coming on, when you buy the e-course, Sandra's brand new e-course, Fluid Art with Intention, you get it today through June the 9th, which is Sunday at 9 p.m. You get entered in to an opportunity to win one of two prizes. One is, there are going to be two people out of all the people that win this. One is actually the painting that's behind Sandra right now on camera, which is an 18 by 24 original. It's a $250 value. And then also the most incredible starter kit I've ever seen from Deco Art. And
Deco Art is sponsoring it. So they're giving it away.
Wow.
So I'll be shipping it to whoever wins that goodie box.
And hold that up again, because it was like, oh my gosh, that was like.
And I may throw some more stuff in. You never know.
That's right. I love it. So awesome.
It's pretty heavy, I can tell you that.
That's right. Now, somebody said on here, can you watch it over and over, right? Yeah, see, that's the beautiful thing about any of our courses. When you buy any of the courses in the Created to Thrive series, the mentoring program, when you buy a course like this, you get access to it 24/7, 365. You can watch it on your phone. You can watch it on your iPad. You can watch it at home. You can watch it in the middle of the night. Watch it 100 times. It doesn't matter. You got access to it, lifetime access to it, for you to be able to watch those resources. And so that's super exciting, because a lot of times I think, Sandra, isn't it true? You may watch something first and then you go do it and you're like, well, that didn't work out exactly like I thought. I want to go back and watch it again. And that's what this is great for, right?
And also the good thing about fluid art is you're working wet on wet. So at any point in time, if you don't like a certain part of it, you can wipe it off, put the white paint back down that we started with, and you can redo a section. So that's the beauty. It's not like a regular acrylic painting where once you put it down, it kind of dries really fast. Because we put the pouring medium into the paint, it keeps it wet longer. So you have more time to, work with it. And if you don't like a section, I do it all the time. Right. I'll wipe it off with my finger, put some white back down, and just redo it again. And sometimes the second time is way more beautiful than the first time.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
It gives you the opportunity to work on your mistakes, just like life.
Yeah, there you go. I'm noticing a bunch of questions just about the whole YouTube thing. And, some people don't understand how monetization of videos works and that sort of thing. So talk about that, because that's really giving you the ability to open a studio, to do all kind of things now that you've taken your art online and doing that. So talk a little bit about how that works for people that are interested in that whole thing.
Well, anybody can have a YouTube. You have to have a Gmail account and a YouTube channel. And so anybody that goes onto YouTube has to pretty much create an account if they want to like somebody's video or comment or anything. You have to be signed in. Otherwise, YouTube thinks you're spam. And then what you do is, if you want to start uploading videos, there's a whole format to do that. And You go through the whole process because they have a certain set of steps that you go through. And then once you become monetized, which it was higher when I joined, but they've lowered it back down to 1,000 subscribers. And I hit 1,000 subscribers in less than a month with my acrylic pouring, because acrylic pouring is so huge right now across the world. But once you get to 1,000 subscribers, what happens is Google runs ads, the little annoying ads that come up on your videos where it says, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and skip ad.
Yeah.
Well, believe it or not, people actually sometimes watch those ads, or, if they engage with that ad for a certain amount of time, that percentage comes back to me, and Google pays me, not YouTube, but Google, because Google owns YouTube. So Google pays me a percentage, and then that adds up as your subscribers add up. And that's what I pay for my studio with. So,
That's
and
awesome.
then you can also, you also list the products that you use, and you can start an Amazon influencer list, and you can gain extra revenue that way from people purchasing what you recommend. They don't pay any different price on Amazon, but because they purchase it through your link, you get a percentage of that. So it's kind of like becoming a business entrepreneur. You find different ways to make money through this avenue.
Right. And I love that. That's one of the core principles we teach in the mentoring program, is create an asset that will then give you the ability to do the things you want to do. I know for me, early on, my books became that. I tell Cameron, my 15-year-old son, all the time, I'm like, buddy, you write a book one time, you get paid over and over and over again. The more books you write, the more that multiplies. And the same thing was true with, that recurring income, whether it's monetization on YouTube or whatever it is, that really can be a major blessing in your life to allow you to do, what you're called to do creatively. Now I'm looking at a couple of the questions. Somebody says, I'm part of the mentoring program. Is this video available through that, or is this a separate piece? Yeah, this is completely different. This has nothing to do with the mentoring program. Created to Thrive is a totally separate program. That's your $47 a month, your yearly membership. That has almost 200 videos in that are all focused on helping you grow as an artist. This series is a separate series. It's the all about creating with the Holy Spirit art series. It's all about practical art instruction with specific artists that I've chosen over the years who not only are great artists, but also engage the Holy Spirit in their creative process. And so all these courses are just $79. It's an absolute no-brainer. I want to mention that too, because some people are like, $79. I just can't believe it. Why aren't you doing it for free or whatever? And I'm like, y'all, listen, $79. Think about it. Think about if you went out to dinner with your husband or with your wife, you're going to pay more than $79 at a nice restaurant. Think about if you took the techniques in this and you began to create a painting and you started selling them. Oh my gosh, $79, you make it back like that. That's one of the mindset shifts, isn't it, Sandra, that people have to get used to, is investing in your journey. Because if you don't invest in your journey then and keep doing the same things you've been doing, then you're going to get the same thing that you've always gotten, right? As opposed to investing and learning something that's going to take you to the next place in your journey.
Yeah. And the cool part about this too is you can do a pour over a whole canvas and let it dry, and then paint realistically on top of it. It makes beautiful backgrounds, so you can combine it with other mediums as well. And I have so many people that email me through my YouTube channel and say, hey, I haven't painted in 20 years. I just, lost that desire, and I saw your video, and it's like it just sparked a new fire in my heart to get out the paints and start painting again. Or, somebody's kind of tired of a certain medium and they're looking for something a little different, a little more freeing, because like I said, I was a realistic artist, and I was looking for something outside of my comfort zone that was more about letting go. So it's this style. And, when I teach classes in my studio, so many people say this is so relaxing. there's no pressure because you're not creating a specific perfect thing. It's more freeing and more allowing, more gracious to just whatever happens. So a lot of people respond very positively to this form of painting because it is very therapeutic and it is very relaxing.
Yeah.
People that have full-time jobs are addicted to this kind of stuff. They come home from their full-time job and they can't wait to get home and do a pour.
Wow.
So it's just,
awesome.
it's a huge phenomenon right now, the acrylic pouring world.
Now, somebody was asking, after they take the class, can they ask questions? And, one of the things I would say to that is take the piece that you made using this class, post it in Thriving Christian Artists and tag Sandra, tag me, ask a question like that, get others' feedback on it. But is that something that you're up for and that sort of thing, Sandra?
Definitely. And they can definitely email me, call me, because, my website information, I think, will be available through that. They can definitely email and ask questions or send me a message on Facebook, and I will definitely walk you through whatever I can. I do that quite often with people on Facebook. I have a Facebook group of over 9,000 people that came over from the YouTube area who wanted to connect with me on a more personal level.
Yeah.
So I have a Facebook group you can join. And, the people there are so encouraging. It's not one of your typical groups with a lot of, gossiping. And some people can get pretty mean on Facebook in a lot of groups. They can get pretty mean and rude. And that doesn't happen in my group. People are very gracious and encouraging and uplifting. Even when there's not a pretty painting that's posted, you get a lot of encouragement there as well. So
that's awesome. So yeah, so you can say if you've got questions after you purchase, you can absolutely ask them, definitely. So I'm just looking. I don't see any more questions right now. Somebody was asking right now, can you paint on the top of these paintings after you get them done, like put lettering on top, or maybe do a realistic painting on top, or something like that?
Yes, definitely. There's a lot of pieces that I've done. I don't have any around me, but like I'll do a pour and then I'll paint a peacock body and the background will be the feathers. You can paint on top of it with acrylics or oils or whatever you want to use. And you can also, after it dries, you can repaint over it totally again. If you don't like it and you want to try it again, you can totally cover it up and paint over from scratch. But yes, you can embellish it with more acrylic painting. You can add mixed media items to it, and you can use paint pens and all kinds of things with it to do. And people glue things to it that are three-dimensional. The sky is the limit, and it opens your world to another level of adding to what you already have skill-wise as an artist.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I love it. It's just so flexible. It can go any way that you want it to go. So, well, guys, thank you so much for being on with us today. I hope you've gotten a lot of information about this course. You see the incredible bonuses that we're doing when you purchase the course today through Sunday, June the 9th at 9:00. Again, the original painting that's sitting behind Sandra right now is somebody's going to win that. Somebody's also going to win an incredible starter kit with all of the things that you'll need to get started on this journey with Sandra. And again, you're not alone. Anytime you need a question asked, answer to things like that, all that's available through the course. So Sandra, thank you so much for being on. If you guys all this week, if you've got a question for Sandra about the course, just tag her, tag me, tag Cherie, any of our team in the comments here. We'll be glad to get you the information that you need. Again, when you purchase the course, you got 24/7, 365 access to it. So it's not like you're just watching it once and that's it. You've got continual access to it. And plus, if you've already purchased other courses in this series, like the course from Aaron Brown on mixed media collage, the course from Amy Smith on painting with freedom and abstract expressionism, a real visceral prophetic art process, or this one all about acrylic pouring. When you log in, you'll see all those places, all those courses in one place. if you've bought other courses from Matt Tommey Mentoring, if you're in the mentoring program, all right, all of that lives in one place on the back end of your website. And so it makes it super duper easy to organize and access those as you want to. So, all right, Sandra, any closing words before we jump out of here?
No, but there is always technical support available. You can consider me available 24/7. I will be glad to answer any questions or, whatever. Believe me, the people that have never tried it before, once they do it the first time, it's like they fall in love with it, and it's like you can't turn back.
Absolutely.
So it opens up your world to a whole new thing, and letting go is a good thing. It's something we all need to learn.
That's right. That's right. Well, hey, thanks for being on, Sandra, and thank you for being on today, wherever you are. And we'll see you again real soon. Click the link above. All right, bye.
Thank you.